Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back for today's message. Today I have got one that I hope hits you in the heart, as you may or may not require it or may not be conscious of requiring it. Today I really want to talk about something that it's kind of come up for me because it's my final day in a journal that has been the most transformative in my entire existence of journaling, which has been, probably the last 10 years or so of journaling. And so back at the end of July this year, I started a journal that was dedicated to what I deemed soul reunion journal entries, which was basically building a relationship with the parts within myself. So I'll tell a bit of a story about that, but what sparked today's message, which I really am excited to share with you guys. But as usual, as you are joining, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys so I can see who's able to join. And please do make sure that you contribute to today's message, if I can speak properly. And I love co-creating this space with you guys. I love hearing your thoughts on today's topic and anything that you feel called to share. And kind of just making this more of a conversation and a co-creative space where we can contribute our experiences and our authentic journeys and all the rest of it. So and I also love knowing where you guys are from. So definitely drop me some comments. And today is kind of feels like I'm closing a very needed and necessary and empowering part of my journey and reopening to the next level. And, I've had some very interesting and special experiences happening in my world recently that have just kind of boggled my mind a little bit in a good way and allowed me the opportunity to just surrender to life, basically, just to allow, just to be, just to tap into my inspirations, but then know that there's something bigger at play that, I can't necessarily anticipate with my logic or my rationale. And so lots of interesting stuff happening. So I can see I've already got Sam and Bill and Lazaro. Hello to you, Bill. It's been ages. So good to see you. And Jacqueline's here, and Elf and Joe. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. And Sam, you're back from North Wales. Always good to see you too. And Kane's in the house. I love it. So today's message is a question for you, which is your external world a reflection of your internal world, or is it in opposition to it? Okay, now I know this is not a new conversation that any of us have had, but I hope that it'll be a good reminder for you, as it was for me as I finalized my final page in my Soul Reunion journal that I've had since the end of July. And I did a bit of reflection and I reflected back to my very first page, and I kind of created this bit of a diagram basically. And basically on this day, what drew me to start this entry was I had found myself feeling quite disappointed in external relationships, and realizing time and time again, and being given the curriculum and the experience of, time and time again to go, you know what, like, nobody else is here to fulfill you. It's up to you. And realizing that when I was living for the external world, it was coming from a place of needing something in my external world or somebody in my external world to fulfill me, to validate me, to make me feel whole, to make me feel okay in life. And I've realized through the experiences that I'd had time and time again that how I was going about it was never going to actually get what I perceived that I wanted. And so I took on the responsibility of fulfilling for myself and becoming my own one, basically. Becoming the one that I'd sought externally, actually becoming that for myself. And I'm just freaking blown away, basically by the whole journey and what that's kind of been. And it got me thinking today about just diving into this at a new level and reflecting. And, asking you guys the question, like, to just check in with yourself and ask yourself seriously, like, are you living from the inside out, right? Getting inspired, being connected to yourself, being fulfilled within yourself, meeting your own needs, and then expressing that out into the world and making sure that your truth comes out into the external world, almost like your external world subordinates to your internal world? Or is it like most of us, at least we've been there on part of the journey, where basically we're living for the external world right? So it's basically our internal world subordinating to our external world, and basically the opinions of others, how we perceive ourselves to be seen through the eyes of others, versus knowing who we are and not needing anybody else's approval or opinion on that to actually express every aspect of who we are. Like, where in your life right now are you holding back from what's true for you? And, not to judge ourselves on that, because we're human beings and we have a need to belong, right? And oftentimes we mistake the fact that we think we need to, in order to belong, we need to become what we perceive other people want from us, what we perceive other people will approve of, versus realizing that when we opt for the path of least resistance in our external world, we create the part, basically the most resistance in our internal world, right? And so we've got to realize that chaos and harmony are always in existence, right? They're always in balance. And you get to choose where you want to experience that harmony and experience that chaos. I know for myself, most of my past history was lived ignoring the chaos in my internal world so that I could do whatever I possibly could to maintain harmony in my external world and with those around me. And what happened was it got so chaotic within that it got painful enough for me to realize there's got to be another way. And I was lucky enough to, to have my eyes open to other ways of being in this world, like growth-inducing ways of being in this world, right? To open my eyes to the fact of what I was doing, why I was doing it, and basically to then discover that I can do whatever I want. It's my choice, basically. And so the moment we wake up to questioning the things that we are doing habitually that are creating pain in our life, and then dive a little deeper and uncover why is it that we do that thing, we can realize that that strategy probably isn't working for us, right? And we get to become, position ourselves at choice point as to what we're going to do instead in order to meet the positive intention of the thing that we've been doing habitually that's creating pain and internal chaos. And we can change our behavior, right? We can find a new strategy. And so I'll give you an example to kind of illustrate this. So basically, what was happening for me at the time when I was negating the internal chaos and wanting to mold and become and shapeshift into whatever I perceived in my external world to be the thing that would be approved of, what I was really after was love and connection, like depth of connection, right? And basically when I uncovered this painful pattern that I was perpetuating in my life of shape-shifting instead of, and subordinating my internal world to the external world, when I realized the pain of that and it wasn't getting me anywhere, it got me to the point of asking myself, well, what is the positive intention behind me subjecting myself to this kind of pain? Why is it that I would allow this level of internal chaos to be negated so that I can try and maintain some external harmony, right? And what it came down to was I wanted to experience that depth of connection, that love, that belonging with those in my external world. And then I had to ask myself, kind of in the words of Dr. Phil, right? Like, how's that working out for you, right? And basically it wasn't, and time and time again in those experiences, realizing it's never going to work, I basically then asked myself, well, okay, now I know this pattern doesn't work. I'm the common denominator. What could be another strategy? And basically, I was able to see that my previous strategy, the one that was leading to the pathway of pain and internal chaos constantly, and maybe getting glimpses of external harmony, but they were fleeting. Basically, what was happening with that was that it was maybe in those moments where I had that external harmony and sense of belonging or connection or love, right? Basically, they were some of the most lonely experiences possible, because you're not actually showing up as who you are in relationship to those other people. You are a facade of who you are that is molded to your perception of what other people want, right? And so that's the most lonely place in the world, to supposedly have love and depth of connection, right? And basically not be showing up as who you are or contributing yourself. Who are you loved for? The facade of who you are. And even if others don't know that, you know it deep down. And what that serves to do is reinforce to that deeper aspect of yourself that doesn't feel good enough to show up and present as the truth of who you are. It really just reinforces to that deeper knowing within you that the truth of who you are is not lovable, right? Because you're getting love or approval or acceptance for the facade rather than the truth. So the only way out of that is to create a new experience. And the only way to create a new experience is to actually challenge that belief system and actually get connected to who you actually are, and to actually, align in the external world from the place of the truth of who you are, rather than, like aligning, trying to become what you perceive in the external world to be the thing that get you what you want. Instead, getting connected, allowing that to come up and know what your truth is, and challenging yourself to share that externally. And as you guys know, if you've been on this journey, it's like you end up repelling like the people who aren't aligned with the truth of who you are. And that can feel really scary when you're considering having the courage to actually move into the world from the truth of who you are. But what you don't realize until you have the courage to take that bold move is that it no longer matters when you repel others, when you know yourself to be aligned with the truth of who you are, because you're already accepting, approving, and validating yourself by taking that action. You no longer need the external people to do that, and you get yourself to a place where at the end of the day, like, you don't want to spend or waste any of your energy with people who just simply aren't aligned with you. All right. And the beautiful thing that also occurs is that you end up attracting people who are just totally in alignment, right? There's just a sense of knowing, like it just is. Right? There's no need to be something different. There's no need to change another person. It just is. It just fits. It just aligns, and you can just be, right? And all of this happens from a place of you getting connected to who it is that you truly are, having the courage to boldly and consistently show up as the truth of who you are, and just trust and surrender to the universal intelligence that gets rid of people who aren't aligned and definitely draws those who are aligned towards you. Okay, and so that's kind of my experience. I know this isn't new. This is something I actually feel like I'm coming full circle in a lot of my journey right now. So I know it's not new stuff, but my reason for sharing it with you guys right now is that it doesn't always have to be new, right? Like sometimes we're just on the next revolution or the spiraling up of the pattern that we may have held and felt like we've been there, done that many years ago. But what it's been my experience that we're always taking a new vantage point on those same themes of our life. And so it's a valuable check-in, I hope, for some of you guys right now to have this kind of come to the forefront, particularly in a brand new year, right? 2022, like, who are you being, right? Like, are you really being true to yourself, or are you holding yourself back? Are you not actually aligning your external world with your internal world, right? Are you not speaking your truth? Are you not doing the things that you feel aligned with, that you feel called to do in your life, that you feel called to share? Like, and my question to you would be, first off, to not judge yourself, to know you're human. We all do that. But then my question to you is, why? Why? Like, why are we making other people's opinions or perceptions, or our perception of their perception, more valid and important than our own internal truth? Just why, right? And when we can understand why, and we can understand the path of pain and resistance it creates for us in our own internal world, honestly, that's usually enough to have and build enough courage to take a more bold move of aligning your external world with your internal world, rather than the other way around, right? Do you want to subordinate to your perception of other people's judgments and seeing yourself through the eyes of others that limits you from expression of truth? Or do you want the external world to subordinate to your reflection of your truth, right? Not in terms of superiority, but just in terms of internally for you, your system, your hierarchy of what's important for you, basically, right? So, and what matters. So that's kind of my question for you. I really can't wait to connect with you guys. So drop me a comment, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, and if you've got any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you'd love to share, I'd love to hear from you guys. So let's check in. So I've got Sam and Bill and Lazaro, and always lucky for me when you're here, Bill, and Jacqueline and Elf and Joe and Sam and Kane and Hamiora. Good to have you. And Rob and Sam, I was an empath that enabled everyone. I'm learning now, coach. I love that. Yeah, I totally resonate with what you're saying. Like, absolutely. You know, myself included, I've been on that journey, and I still have to kind of check in with myself and ensure that I'm not people pleasing. And I'm very attuned to it now. It almost feels like it just feels kind of gross, right? When you're out of alignment. So good on you. Love that you're on that journey, Sam. Graham's here, and Ulrike and Jeff and Jonathan and Barry. Great message as usual from Canada. Thank you, Barry. I'm so grateful that today's message has resonated with you, and always great to have you here and from beautiful Canada. That's amazing. Elf, so long time no see, my friend. Huge topic with much to ponder. In hindsight, one can easily get caught up in over-analyzing everything. Sometimes to be authentic to oneself means to sacrifice a portion of the love and connection one may seek. Oh, I love this, Elf, you know, and it's kind of like maybe the sacrifice is in the need of others providing that for you, right? And so that there's no loss of love or connection. You're just shifting its placeholder, and making its placeholder inside your internal world makes you, it allows you to show up in the world in those external relationships and actually fully be able to experience love and connection, to give and receive simultaneously, right? And so I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Elf. I always appreciate you showing up. And Julian's here as well, and Jonathan from the UK. Good to have you, my friend. And Bill, great to see you. Likewise. You're going to soar beyond belief and dominate life in 2022. Be yourself, take your masks off, don't judge others, just say they are doing the best they can with their level of awareness. Start each day with the thought, what am I going to do for fun today? Even if it's something small. Oh, I love that, Bill. And thank you so much for such beautiful, kind words. And always great to see you and have your words of wisdom contributed to these conversations. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, you know, how much of life are you enjoying, right? Like, you've only got like this moment, right? Like, what are you doing with it? Like, so, you know, that's been a big shift for me recently, has been stepping away from this, you know, constant moving towards the things that I've got to do and this and that. It's some external date, right? And to take it back a bit and go, well, what am I inspired by? What would I love to create right now? What would I love to do? Who would I love to connect with? You know, and basically going on that journey just allows you to wake up to the benevolent universe that surrounds you, that you're in total co-creation with, right? You're conspiring with the universe to create the life of your dreams, or maybe you're not, right? And so I love that, Bill, you know, bringing fun into every day, enjoy it and you get more of it. So I love that. Thank you so much. And Jeff, well said, here in Orange County, California. Good to have you, Jeff, and thank you so much. Grateful that this resonated with you. And Elf, thank you for your grace, your wisdom, and your being. Infinite respect and love. Thank you so much, Elf. And right back at you with that infinite respect and love, my friend. Thank you for sharing your wisdom here. And Sam, I think times have shown us that connection is so important. Blessings to this community. Absolutely. And blessings to you for being a part of this community, Sam. And everybody who's here and watching this, I just have so much gratitude, you know, for, it's the same thing as what we're talking about right now, right? I feel like as I step into my truth, I attract exceptionally extraordinary, beautiful, kind-hearted, growth-driven, beautiful human beings from across the globe. And I couldn't be more grateful to have this kind of connection with you guys. And yeah, and as Sam says, you know, like, you know, this community. So much love for each and every one of you guys. I want to thank you for showing up today and contributing to this conversation with me as well. And if it has been of value, please do share it with other people that you know could benefit from it. Barry, we've got a message from you here. Glad I tuned in today. Been needing some motivation to get this year started right. Your messages always seem to hit home and inspire me to be more positive. Barry, that is such a gift to my heart. Thank you so much. And likewise, I'm grateful that you tuned in today. I'm grateful that this has, you know, added to your motivation for 2022. Thank you so much for letting me know that as well. And yeah, like let's make it what it is. You know, like it's a fresh new slate. Like just ask yourself, like, how much of my life is coming from the inside out versus the outside in? Just know one of those paths, like that leads towards your fulfillment, your ability to, like Bill said, like have fun every day, versus the other side, the other pathway of trying to be all things for all people and negating the chaos that is stirring within you. All right. Always opt for, you know, internal harmony, even if it creates some external chaos. Just know when you're aligned harmoniously within, you know, like you have the courage, you have the energy, you can deal with it, you can handle whatever chaos hits you in your external world. But the opposite is true when you align with the external world. Trying to maintain harmony externally, even if you get it, you've got constant conflict going on inside, and you can never really run away from that. You can pretend for a while, but it's a very lonely, empty existence. So just simplify it. Am I doing this for me, that's true for me from the inside out, or am I overvaluing my perception of what other people will think about me, about this, about whatever, right? Just know which one's fulfilling and which one's very limiting. Okay, and Robert and Hani, thank you so much for joining right now. I'm just about to sign off, so anybody joining now, I hope you catch the recording and get a ton of value from today's message. And anybody watching later on, drop some comments. I'll engage with you guys as well and share it if it's of value with anybody that you feel could benefit from it as well. And just want to thank you guys so much for showing up live with me today. So much love for each and every one of you guys, and I'll see you very soon.